But they used to like wake up in midnight and like work out, just to, like get them, just like it was like a different experience. But they used to like go damn near like 10 hours a day working out with breaks in middle. But it was just guys who were just super crazy about the game. Every time you get applying for a job in Indy, they'll ask like, hey, what were your scores in the boards? So like I wouldn't have that. So like I was
in 10th grade?
Yes.
What?
Like that was like the exam, like your whole life is kind of basically leading up towards, hey, this is like awesome place to be and grow as a person, grow as a basketball coach. And it was just great for me to see like that this can happen at a Power 5 level. But yeah, that was cool.
Welcome back, everybody, to Life Beyond the Three, presented by the Center Street Media Network. I'm Trevin, your host, and we got Dawson Baker.
Yep, Dawson Baker here. Excited to be here. We got a special guest today. His name is Dhruv. Dhruv, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Dhruv, how do you even pronounce your last name?
So first name is Dhruv, second name is Mehrotra.
Wait, one more time.
Mehrotra.
Now say your first name again.
Dhruv.
Dhruv.
Yep.
Dhruv.
It's tough.
Yeah.
To spell it, it's Dhruv. So
Yeah.
Dhruv
is easy for us to say. Uncle Dhruv. You know, we got some cool nicknames for him.
What's the craziest thing you've ever heard someone like pronounce your name?
Probably Drew. Just
Drew?
Yeah.
Just Drew.
I've gotten used to it at this point. Like, it just harder to like correct them. So I'm like, yeah, I'll be Drew. It's fine.
Yeah. Usually when I go to order stuff, they say, hey, Trayvon. And I'm like, no, I'm not black. I wish. But yeah, I might change my name. What about you, Doss? Anything?
I get Austin a lot.
Austin?
Yeah, like, well, I just say Dawson, like Austin.
Oh, I see that.
So, like, every time I, like, you know, give my name for an order, I would just say Baker. Just because it's easier. And then never mess it up.
Chef Baker. Kind of tough.
Yeah, so I usually just do that.
Oh, love it.
Actually, Danielle, our nutritionist, so one time she was texting me when we were at a away trip, and she texted me Groove, like G-R-O.
Wow.
So, but
that one's actually crazy.
So she said that was autocorrect.
There's no way to autocorrect.
But I was like, I don't know. But that was the craziest now that I think of it.
How do you autocorrect Groove?
I don't know.
Sounds like Gru from Despicable Me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a ton of resemblance, but maybe we can do it. All right, Danielle. Maybe one time we should get her on the pod and
we do need to get on the pod.
gaslight her for that.
Yeah.
Okay, some little intro about Drewby. You were the head coach of Team Loaded.
Yep.
That's tough. I remember playing Team Loaded growing up, and they were like the team to beat in the AU circuit. Did you ever play Team Loaded?
What? I think I might have. Were they like a red logo? Was like Bam Adebayo on?
Yeah, it was like a big like strength guy.
That's
but I didn't coach the main Team Loaded. It was like a affiliation.
Yeah.
Team
So
Loaded.
who are some big players that came out of Team Loaded?
Like Armando Baycott played there. Amir Sims played at Clemson. Darius McGee played at Liberty.
Darius McGee can shoot it.
He can shoot the
gosh.
heck out of it. Yeah,
he's
playing
just
in
like a
Germany
little guard,
right
and he
played at my
lights it
high
up.
school actually. Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, he's a great dude. Bouncy as heck.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you were the Blue Ridge High School assistant coach for 2 years, a year.
One year.
And then talk about the driven training kind of thing that you were doing. I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
What is it and everything?
For sure. So when I was in high school, it was a boarding school where I actually coached as well. And there was this coach who did just player development at the time, and he had this company called Driven Training. And it was just always this tightly knit group that always had people who just super passionate about the game, who wanted to work hard all the time. They used to actually have these crazy camps that went for like a week long. And they did it at our school, which is a boarding school. They like had them stay there the whole week and stuff.
Cool.
But they used to like wake up in midnight and like work out, just to, like get them. Just like it was like a different experience. But they used to like go damn near like 10 hours a day working out with breaks in middle. But it was just guys who were just super crazy about the game, who maybe weren't as highly recruited. And the founder, Damon Altizer, I was really impressed with him. So when I came back after playing college, I was like, I really want to like learn player development.
Gotcha.
And he was like 30 minutes from our school. So I was like, I just texted him and like, hey, like I want to learn player development. I know you do a great job with the guys. Like, could I just come and like shadow you, rebound for you? I'll defend guys. And he was like, yeah, for sure. So like every day after, we used to have our practice in the morning or something, our workouts, and then in the evening, afternoon time, I used to go there, like drive 30 minutes, like help out for like 2 hours, 3 hours till like 9 o'clock at night, and then I used to drive back, and it was like so awesome. Like I learned so much from him. Like my whole player development philosophy changed, and it was just like more than just like learning player development. Like I feel the way he kind of just related to his guys, the way he cared about them, it was just awesome to be part of that atmosphere. And like me as a person like trying to get into coaching, trying to like build a relationship with guys, it was like so cool to see like there was a person like at a high school level like really caring about dudes and like really making sure they're developing in the right way. Yeah, that's
super cool. Is that where you got all your crazy drills that you put us through? I remember like I was telling my dad the other day, he's like, so are you working out right now? I was like, I just need a couple days to get my feet under me. Drew put me through the ringer, get me ready for 3x3 and also a jazz workout. But I just remember hands were always on my knee. I was like, I can't catch a breath. But your workouts are insane. I credit a lot of my success to you right now, so I appreciate you.
Yeah. How many of those drills from that was like that you take over from what you learned there to what you do now?
A lot of it. Like I think most of my philosophies is from him. Like before I used to do, when I was a player too, like I used to do a lot of just repetition. And his philosophy is more like, you want to get better at hooping, like hoop more. Like if it's like 1-on-1, if it's 2-on-2, just put yourself in positions to like compete in different situations and then let the players like figure out solutions from there. Like don't tell them like, hey, like if he's on your hip, like get a pull up. If he's here, like do this. Like let them figure out, because in a game, like every situation is going to be a little bit different. So every situation is going to have a little bit of a different solution. So like your job as a player development coach should be putting these guys in environments where they are seeing in games, maybe put constraints on them, like, hey, you got 4 seconds on the shot clock. Hey, you have to use a between the leg dribble, like something that pushes them like outside their comfort zone. Because like in a game, like maybe like you're too tired, or like maybe the guy's in too deep of a shift they didn't expect, and now you got to react on the fly. So like you're training your brain to like react on the fly, adapt on the fly. And that's the main philosophy that he kind of ingrained in me. And so whenever I'm like, a lot of drills are his, but after a point, it's like you're trying to mimic that philosophy into the drills in whatever way you can.
That's cool.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I've noticed Dhruv in the mornings has been doing a lot of one-on-one with some of the guys. And so it's been cool to see that. And I agree. Like, I think too, like one of these kids asked me at one of these basketball camps about, hey, what's some advice you have for me and how do I get better? And like for me personally, what I did was just get in the gym by myself and just visualize defenses. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't need anybody in front of me.
Yeah.
And I would react based on what the help would do. And I would just tell my mind, how would I react? And it came like natural for me. And I think too many people nowadays, especially young players, they want to be told what to do. Mm-hmm. They want to be told how to, like, what dribble should I do here? That's not basketball. It's all read and react. And the faster you get your mind to build those habits, I think that's where success finds you as a basketball player.
Yeah, I agree. I remember Monday with my jazz workout, we did a ton of stuff. And there'd be a guy in the corner. If some guy helped, you had to get off and pass it. Mm-hmm. And that was it. That was the end of the drill, that part. So you had to read, either shoot it or pass it. I think a lot of kids like today's like, I want to get to the 3 right away, or I want to do the flashiest thing possible, which is not, at the end of the day, not game-like, right? Mm-hmm. So if the pros are doing it, young kids, you might as well start.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's super cool. I remember AJ, he did an interview up at Team USA's camp right now, and he said, if you want to get better, play 5-on-5. It was kind of like his thing is like, you literally get game situations, game scenarios like you were just talking about. So I think that's super cool that you kind of touch on that. So diving deeper into who you are, Dhruvy. I call him Dhruvy. We're best friends. So you're from India. Pune. India.
Pune, yep.
Pune. Talk about that. Like, talk about, I don't know how to say the last part, Maharashtra. I don't know.
Just say it for him.
Let me say it for him. But yeah, talk about kind of your family, how close you are with who's in your family, your parents and everything, and just kind of growing up in India.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up in Pune, India, a city in Maharashtra.
That's so cool. I wish I
Nice,
could,
man.
just rolls off
Rolls
the
off
tongue.
the tongue. Nice.
I have one older sister. She's doing journalism back in New Delhi right now. And then I have my parents who actually, they obviously grew up in India and stuff, but after I moved to the US, they actually moved to Switzerland because my dad got a job there, but they're actually moving back, but sidetrack. Anyways, coming back to myself, I always loved basketball. My sister and my mom both played basketball. My sister was in like a all girls like school right next to me, and I was at all boys school, and we had the same basketball coach.
Wow.
So like my sister being older, she had already started playing. So when I got in like first grade, like the coach kind of told me like, hey, like your sister plays, you should start playing a little bit. And that's how I kind of started, and it just like kind of kept growing from there. And I started loving the game like a lot. And initially it was just like, hey, this is cool. Like I'll keep doing it. And then eventually like it started growing into something more like, hey, like I really want to do something with this. Like it's something that just gives me peace. And like I used to be talking about repetition, going back to player development. I used to be that guy who used to always be in the gym by myself. Like that was like my peaceful time. Like I used to don't want anybody there. Like I wanted to be there by myself. But that was like where I felt like at home and stuff. And actually like we were at a like state like team selection. So like team Maharashtra like was having their selections. And I thought like I was like really good. I was like, okay, like I'm going to definitely make the team. Like I should be good. And then after the selection, I was like thinking to myself like, hey, like the dudes who don't make this team, like what are they going to do? Like how would they feel? Like that was like my first ever like selection tryout I had to go through. I was like, I think like 13 or something. And then as chance would have it, like I didn't make the team. And like I still remember that feeling. Like it was like crazy. Like I felt like the whole world was kind of crashing down on me. And like it would have been one thing like if I wasn't good enough. Like there's so much like politics and corruption in India that's like, hey, like this politician, like your kid can get into the team. Like it's a lot of that. And I'm not saying I was the best player, but I think I should have definitely made the team. But like I was like, okay, like that kind of made me push myself. Like, hey, like I want to be in a place where like, okay, if I'm not good enough, like I'm going to know that and I can push myself. It's not like, hey, like there's these external factors I got to think about. Yeah. So that was the first time I kind of started thinking about if I should be going somewhere else for basketball, because I really wanted to pursue it at the highest level. So on like as chance would have it, we actually, the guy who was selecting the team, me and my parents kind of reached out to him and asked him like, hey, like he really wants to get better. Like what can we do to like make him better? So, and he was the team of the Indian National Army. So like we ended up going, and it was in actually Pune as well. So he lived there. Okay. So we used to go and train with him at nights, and we used to like have some reps with the National Army team. Wow. So like I used to get to go work out with them, but it was like so wild because I was pissed at him because he was the one who didn't like get me in the selection. But like after he kind of saw like how much I love the game, he started putting in time with me. And that was just amazing for me, like to be able to be at the highest level that India could kind of offer. And he kind of like started putting the seeds in our minds, me and my parents, are like, hey, like maybe you guys should go to the US. Like that's the best place for basketball. So like we started looking at places where there was a boarding school because like my parents couldn't come here. So I had to like come and be by myself. So we found a couple of schools, talked to the coaches, and we ended up liking this school in Virginia, and just took a leap of faith. And I went there, and then rest is history.
Wow, that is insane.
It sounds like your parents were super.
They were unbelievable.
Yeah, supporting of
you
chasing your dreams.
Especially like coming from India, like parents in India are like a lot of like, hey, like my kids need to be doing something academics, engineering. So like to have parents that not only support that I want to do something different like basketball, which is not like a big thing in India, but also like have the little bit of some financial resources to like support me while I was in the US is like super, super rare. So like I'm like very blessed that I had parents that could support me financially and emotionally through that. Yeah, but that was cool.
That's cool. I like looked up some things on Pune, like it's known as the Oxford of India. Like for education, it's really big there. So was it hard to kind of almost have that conversation with your parents, or either just fellow students or your friends, just like, I'm going to pursue something like basketball that's kind of a little more different than the educational side?
No, definitely. It was, so I left India in my 10th grade year. So I did 10th, 11th, 12th in the US. And the 10th grade year is like the biggest like thing that India kind of has. Like it's called the boards, like the board exams. And it's like it's a big deal. So if you miss it, it's like every time you get applying for a job in India, they'll ask like, hey, what were your scores in the boards? So like I wouldn't have that. So like I was
in 10th grade.
Yes.
Wow,
Like that was like the exam, like your whole life is kind of basically leading up towards. And like I was leaving in that year. So it's basically like, oh, like you're leaving this exam, like you're leaving a lot of the stuff that traditional people do here. Yeah. And just doing that for basketball, it was like, what are we doing? But in my mind, it was like clear, like it was the game I loved. I know it was US was the place to be, like, and it all worked out in the end. It was amazing.
Pursue your dreams, bro. Wow.
Yeah.
That's like a testimony. You should be like a walking advertisement, bro. That is super, super cool. Yeah. That's like our ACT, I guess, and then going to jobs and saying, "What's your ACT score?"
Right.
Then I'll
exactly
be qualified.
I think the
That's
only
insane.
thing that I could like relate to that is like, for us, like basketball here is more accepted, and us leaving to go on a 2-year mission for our church was probably kind of the same thing of like, what are you doing? Like you're at your peak right now. You're supposed to be going to college, and
100%.
so it's a hard decision. So that's like crazy that you defied all the odds and went the harder route and made it to where you are now. That's pretty cool. It's special.
What were your like first impressions? Like once you got to the US, what was like the first impression you had?
It was different. Obviously, there was a culture shock involved. I didn't like my roommate. It was
Any
tough.
reason why, or
It was like he was just like a typical like I feel like he's always trying to like get your attention, trying to annoy you, that kind of person. It was good for me like to build character and like not let that dude affect me.
Yeah.
So eventually I got better at that, like impacting or not getting impacted by those kinds of guys. But it was that first year was tough, and like now I was in a place, it was like actually surrounded by like high level D1 guys or like D2 guys, and like I was like, shoot, like I'm really behind the curve. So like that adjustment period, like, hey, like I've left my whole family and now I'm like here like surrounded by these big time ballers, was like tough. But at the same time I was like, hey, like I know I'm behind the curve, like I want to get back into it. So that kind of like just diving deep into it,
What motivated you?
it was perfect. Like it was in the middle of nowhere. Like it's actually Charlottesville, 30 minutes from UVA. So it was middle of nowhere. And it was all boys school, so there was no distractions. Like I was literally
no girls, no texting,
no nothing. I was there Friday night, Saturday night, like every day. Like it was a great experience. Just being so committed to like one thing, and like I love, like I'm like a big, like I'm either like completely in it or I'm not in it at all. So like I love being like full, like immersed into that basketball life. So it was a great 3 years for me.
How was being in like an all boys school?
So it was
like that would be hard, you know.
I
Like
can imagine.
it would just be different.
Yeah, it's weird because like I'd never known anything apart from that, because even my school in India was
like,
all
how was
boys.
that?
So it was just, I mean, for me it was
Probably
like
normal, right?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, this is normal.
Yeah.
So honestly, when I went to college, it was different because I'd never been like in a school with girls before. So that was like a culture change for me again. But like the all boys was like, hey, this is normal. But like everybody else around me was like, man, like where are the girls at and everything? I was like, I don't really care.
The flirting skills.
You were having the honor code right before BYU. I love it.
Oh, I love it. That's funny. Oh, that's super, super funny. That's awesome. I remember like just going back to even junior high. I remember like you go down to like recess or like you get a break, and I remember I'm gonna go shoot because a girl that I thought was cute was watching, so I want to impress her, you know. But like it's crazy, like your motivation and like your drive for different things can come different ways, but like that's a very pure motivation, a pure goal that you had that I think is super unique.
Yeah, that's super cool. All right, Drew, tell us about being vegetarian. That's something that interests me because I don't know if I could ever do it, but tell me about your journey, why you do it, and how it is.
And before we start, like Drew is actually a very muscular dude.
Yeah, like it's not
he's
like
got
he's
muscles. Like I remember we went to I think it was Dallin Hall's like uncle or something like that. But we were
pool?
swimming. Yeah, we were swimming. And it was the first time like we actually were really like bonding and everything. And I remember some people were getting in the pool, and he jumped off the top, and I'm like, wow, Drew's like pretty built.
And he works out a lot. Like runs in the mornings, lifts. Like that's hard to do being a vegetarian, I feel like. But let me know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I grew up vegetarian. Like my parents were both vegetarian, so like every time my mom cooked something, it was vegetarian stuff. So it was never like an adjustment period. It was never like, oh, like I want to eat meat, but I can't. But honestly, when I did come to the U.S., it was like, okay, like I need to probably eat meat to gain more weight or muscle mass. So I tried like my junior year of high school, but like eating or like is one of my like few or like few joys of my life. Like I love eating good food.
I love that.
So like I was like, I'm eating like chicken and stuff, and I was like, couldn't enjoy my meals anymore. And I tried it for like 2 months, 3 months. I was like, I couldn't get used to it. And I was like, I didn't really see that much of a growth in my muscle mass or like my weight. I was like, I'm going back to being a vegetarian. Just trying to figure out different stuff to like keep putting out weight.
Is that like in India? Is that what like a lot of people do, or is that just like your family specifically?
It is.
How did
It's
that
pretty,
even come about?
Yeah, it's pretty common in India. Like you will see if you go to India, like a lot of restaurants will have like the name of the restaurants, and underneath it'll say pure veg. So like it'll be just vegetarian stuff there.
Wow.
And it's very common that like you grow up vegetarian in India. Obviously there'll be some people who eat meat and stuff, but mostly it's all vegetarians, I would say.
And that's like a spiritual kind of thing, or is it more
a
just
little bit?
cultural?
I mean, the only spiritual thing for Hindus is like more we don't eat like cow. But I think it just grew into like people don't eat meat now. But that's like a lot of people or families who are religious, they'll say like, hey, don't eat like hamburgers or cow or anything. But for me, like it wasn't any religious. Like my parents aren't very religious. I'm not very religious. I'm spiritual, but I'm not very like religious. So for me, it was like I just trying to see what's the best for my body and stuff. But I tried it and I just couldn't get used to it. So
That's
I was like,
crazy.
Yeah.
So for a vegetarian, if you were trying to gain weight,
that's
what
literally
would
what I was about to-
you suggest for
like-
someone?
Yeah, so it's tough in America. In India, it's like every meal will have some kind of like lentils or beans or chickpeas or something, which will be like a staple, and then you'll have like something like naan or rotis, which is like the carbs of the meal. So that'll be like every meal. So like you're good. But then when I came here, I had to like figure out new ways. So crazy story actually. When I went to my boarding school, so when I first came to the US, I was trying to figure out how to get some protein in. So like I used to literally in the cafeteria, they used to have like literally American cheese, right?
Okay.
So I used to like stack up 5 slices of cheese and eat it like a sandwich.
Oh
It was
my gosh.
gross. It was very gross.
Dairy
but I was
overload.
like, I don't know how else to
How was
like
your
get
stomach
protein.
after that?
It was not great.
Yeah.
It was not great. I had to like take it like pills. Like I used to
Oh.
get milk and just like gulp it down, I guess.
Wow.
But I didn't know what else to do. There was
Really?
nothing. Yeah, it was like pasta every day. I was like, what am I going to do for like protein? So I just like did that, and it became like known over the school. Like this dude just eats cheese.
You got the cheese touch.
Yeah.
You got cheese.
It was
cheese
gross.
touch,
After a
right?
while, I couldn't do it anymore. But that
That's
was how I started.
incredible. That's
Trying to
insane.
figure it out.
When's your birthday?
July 20th, 2001.
We gotta get some cheese.
Don't like cheese anymore.
I'll overload you with some cheese, bro. Oh, that's so cool. I remember Trey tried to do that for a second. He couldn't do it. So
That'd
I
be
think
so
it's
Like
hard.
vegetarian,
yeah,
it's tough.
it is tough.
I mean, if you grow up,
If you grew up,
yeah.
doing it, I'm sure that's all you
Exactly.
know.
Right,
And,
exactly. Yeah.
But stacks of cheese, man, that's
wild
impressive.
works.
That's dedication.
So talking about like being religious a little bit, because we touched base on it. So you're not like religious, but you're spiritual, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how was like coming to BYU? You know, because like here, like it's very religious, it's very spiritual here. Like how is that kind of cultural change as well? I feel like every single time you go somewhere, it's like a whole different cultural shock.
Yeah.
Right? So how is that kind of adjustment and kind of fitting in with like the
Yeah.
BYU honor code, the BYU norm here?
I mean, it's cool. Like honor codes and like all religions, I would say like all based towards like you being a good person, like you being the
Yeah.
best version of yourself. So for me, it's like, hey, these guys are super spiritual, like, or super like committed to like being the best version of themselves. So that's how I feel it.
Yeah.
And yes, it was a little bit different, but I was like, I love seeing different parts of the world. I love like meeting
Yeah.
new kinds of people. So for me, it was like, I really want to see another part of America that I'd never seen before, experience a different kind of culture, like meet new kinds of people. So for me, it was like, I'm very excited.
That's cool.
I honestly wanted to get out of like the East Coast because I wanted to like go different places. So I was like, yeah, this is awesome. But also like I wanted to be in a place where now that I'm so like loving coaching, like I wanted to be in a place where I could really grow as a coach, like
Yeah.
no distractions. I wanted to like do that fully, like
BYU is the perfect place for that.
and I was like, this is perfect. Like I have nothing else to do. Like I can do basketball the whole day at a high level. Like, and honestly, like it wasn't as much of a culture shock as I would have thought. I'd never worked at a Division I level, but I came here like high major level, big time coaches, big time players. And like, I'm not just saying cause like I'm here on the podcast, but I was very impressed with how like humble, like all the players were and like how like just open they were to like my advice. I'm just like a Division III guy or like just some random dude. And like everybody was just super nice, super welcoming. And not just me, like the managers, like everybody who just was involved with the program, like they just carried themselves with so much, like, I don't know, just joy. It was just very cool for me to see. And it was like, hey, this is like awesome place to be, and grow as a person, grow as a basketball coach. And it was just great for me to see like that this can happen at a Power 5 level.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool.
That's cool. Talking more about BYU, how did your journey lead you to BYU?
Yeah.
I feel like it's crazy how you got here, bro.
It's a stroke of luck. Cool. Very lucky. So one of our alumni who played at my high school played at UVA, and then he played under Coach Voigt with the Austin Spurs last year for like a month. Like it wasn't even that long. And like last year, like I was really trying to find GA spots like at different schools, reaching out to people. And we saw like Coach Voigt got hired at BYU. And then so we reached out to this former player. His name is Mamadi Diakite. So he reached out to Coach Voigt and he kind of connected us. And then Coach Voigt interviewed me and turned out it was a good fit.
You crushed the interview. Crushed it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is cool. How has it been being at BYU now? Like, from how you started to like now, you guys are what, the 7th best odds to win the national title, which is crazy.
No, it's amazing. Like to be like, it blows my mind that coming from India, I get to be in a place where I get to work with such amazing players and coaches. Like I would never have thought in my wildest dreams that I'm just here at like 5 o'clock sometimes, and I'm looking out at like the annex court or like the gym, and I'm like, I used to remember when I was last year, like I was looking for spots at GA, and I was like, I would kill to be in like such a spot where I could help guys or like guys could help me, and like I just, again, like I love empty gyms. Like I used to just look at our annex gym and I used to be like, this is peace, man. Like I used to be there by myself, and I just can't believe sometimes that I get to do basketball at this level. Do basketball in general is like awesome, but doing it at this level is just amazing. And I just try, hopefully I can keep being grateful for it. I don't want to like ever get used to the fact that, we get like private planes or like we're able to get the gym available 24/7, which is not like, it's something to be grateful for.
Yeah.
The fact that you guys have managers at your disposal every day, like the fact that you can have coaches, you can ask questions every time like you're like struggling with something. The support system here is just so amazing. I just hope I never get like too used to it, but it's awesome.
Yeah. Personally, I want to thank you for everything you kind of just done for us, especially last year, and even getting me ready for like these different draft things. So literally, I remember I texted you and I was like, I hope Drew's available, and you're like, yeah, let's do it tomorrow. And I was like, whoa, that was a quick turnaround. But yeah, I just want to say like you're one of the hardest workers, and I think everybody on the team sees that, and so we're just super grateful for everything you do for us. And kind of like talk about what you do for the team. Like, what's your title? And like, what do you do for the team?
Yeah, so I'm a graduate assistant for the basketball team. Last year I just had a lot of miscellaneous things I did, whatever the coaches needed. Like if there was a scouting assignment that we needed to get done. One of the assignments I did in games was so the other team's play calls, whatever they had their play calls for that particular play. I used to like track down the teams they've played before and have a list of like, hey, like they have, this is their play call, this is what it means, this is what's going to happen.
And let's just say that Drew will call out every single play before it happens. I remember I'm on the bench and Drew will call out something. I'm like, Drew, there's no way that's the same play. And then they would run it, and then all the coaches were like, good call, Drew. But yeah, you had every play from another team on lock. Even in the game, I would look over and I'd hear you call something. I'm like, all right, I'm going to jump this pass right here. So we had a ton of trust in you, and you were always literally like 99.9% right.
Yeah, that's super cool. It's definitely an underappreciated role that you play behind the scenes. A lot of things wouldn't run without you. But what's your kind of your end goal with this? Obviously, every coach has to start somewhere, and a lot of them start in a GA position or just kind of filling in spots. What's your end goal?
I don't think I have like a position in mind for an end goal. I want to be in a place where I completely align with if I'm an assistant, like I completely align with what the head coach is about, like in terms of culture, what he values in offense, defense. And if he and I are like the same wavelength, like I don't care if I'm the video coordinator, I don't care if I'm the assistant, like I want to be a part of that kind of culture and team. But if I think like, hey, like I've been at a couple of different spots, I want to do something differently, like I want to do things differently in this way or that way, I think a head coach in that way would be better. And I think in terms of level, I'd love to be like a mid-major head coach if I'm not at a place where I align with what the head coach is about. Because I feel like mid-major players, like there's more of a chip on their back. I love working with like guys who are like worked for everything, like they've fought through everything and they're like working themselves up. Because I felt I was a little bit like that, so I love working with those kinds of guys. But also it's like I feel the mid major is like perfect balance where I feel like you can really first of all, it's Division I where you can work with the guys in the summer. And I think D2s and D3s aren't allowed to do that. And like summer, I feel like the guy who works at Driven Training, he used to call it separation summer. So like I feel it's such an amazing opportunity to like be with players and like impact them. So that's why Division I would be an ideal level, and mid-major is just like the perfect kind of balance of those things.
Yeah. I like that, bro.
Yeah.
And mid-majors do have a little chip on their shoulder. I remember playing Duquesne 2 years ago. And they were just first play. I came on the court and he jabbed me around the stomach and I lost it. So I like pushed back and of course I got the call. So I got offensive foul. The kid's smiling at me and I'm like, oh, this kid's getting under my skin already. Like, but yeah, they definitely have a little bit of chip on their back, and I think that's why I think BYU is a cool place too, because I feel like everybody always sees us as like the underdog, even in the tournament this year. Everybody had us losing to VCU. Then everybody's like, oh, BYU's the most picked to be upset. Yep. And then, it was cool that we went to the Sweet 16. But, yeah, I think that kind of aligns perfectly with kind of who you are. And BYU is a great place. Maybe it could be here. You never know.
Sure.
You never know. That's awesome. So a little bit for the fans, okay, what is something that is like a strength for this team already? And what's something you think is a weakness that, like, hey, like, we're definitely going to hit this hard going into like workouts and stuff, but what's like some little sneak peek for fans out there to know about this team?
I think we definitely have a lot more guys who can guard really well this year. I think like we have better athletes. I think that's like I think our strength, which I think was something that we struggled with last year, and I think something that could be something that we might struggle with is leadership, because we lost a lot of like one of our best leaders sitting right here with us. We lost one of our big leaders. We lost Dallin Hall. So like that kind of spot, I think, would be interesting to see who fills it. Richie's been doing a good job. Dawson been doing a good job with that. But I feel like if we can fill those leadership spots well, that could be great. But right now, that's something that I started worrying about like after our season, because it was something that I'm personally that's like really important to me as a coach. And I felt like you guys did an amazing job last year of like leading the team. And I think, in my opinion, that was like the biggest reason why we were successful, like the leadership. So I just hope we have enough guys who like understand the importance of that. But that's, I feel, one pitfall we could face this season. Anytime.
Well, good thing we got DB, who's both the athlete and leader. Dual combo right here. Like, combo guard. We're gonna go right into like some fun questions, lighten the mood a little bit. Cool. Appreciate your time so far. So what is like an Indian street food that you would like make mandatory, that you just like crave and you would make mandatory in like BYU or like in Provo?
It's called kachi dabeli.
One more time.
Kachi dabeli.
I don't even want to try. All right, what is it?
It's like a bun, and they put like how do I describe it? Like spiced tomatoes that they cook with different like spices in it. Okay. They put it in there, and they put like different kinds of like onions, tomatoes, and everything, and they like put butter on top of it, and it's unbelievable.
Really
it's unbelievable.
Does not sound great.
It's unbelievable.
Is it hot? Like, is Indian food really spicy?
What?
Is Indian food really spicy?
Yeah, for the most part. Especially if you're not used to like spice, it'll be spicy. But yeah, for the most part, they put a lot of spices in everything. Okay. And I love it.
Gideon George, shout out Gideon. He made me one of his meals from, oh my gosh.
Gideon, isn't he from
yeah, I don't know what
Nigeria?
The meal. No, yeah, but I don't know what the meal is called. Oh. But it was just like rice, but he put like the whole thing of chili red flakes. Like,
okay.
You know chili red flakes?
Like
a little spice?
Yeah.
You probably don't think that's hot. We put like the whole thing in there. Bro, I was sweating. So I get done with the bowl, and he goes, "Oh, Trev, you liked it. You want another one?" And I'm like, "Gee, I love you so much, but I can't do this ever again." But yeah, I was in a deep sweat. That was the hottest thing. So I don't think I would be able to do any Indian food at all. Yeah. Are you good with spice?
I can do a little bit. I'm not super great, but I can handle a little bit.
Well, yeah, I
I'm
can
not a
handle a
wimp,
little bit, but I almost died that day.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
Well, that's one of my 9 lives.
All right, tell us the weirdest flex you can brag about by yourself.
And don't be humble. I want like the
Craziest
thing.
thing.
I don't even know. I don't know if I have anything to flex about. The weirdest flex?
Don't take off your clothes. Like, we got PG. We got kids watching the show, all right?
I don't know. What's a weird flex? What's an example?
Like, oh, like I'm vegetarian, but my body still looks really good.
Yeah,
It's a weird flex.
It's a weird flex. Austin Baker, you know, he's a chef baker with a crazy mustache.
See?
You know, it's a weird flex.
I would say, even though I'm quite busy, I like to like meditate a lot.
yeah,
just
that's
like
good.
get
That's a
my
good one.
mind off things a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that's my weird
Is
flex.
it like, do you do poses? Do you just kind of just sit in silence?
just sit in silence.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing a meditation course in July, so I'm
Cool.
excited for that.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
all
a
right,
cool flex.
last question, okay, and we'll let you sign off for us. Okay, let's say me and DB are going to Pune.
Okay.
What's your 3-week survival guide to help us have a good time, places to go, places to eat?
Uh-huh.
And
What's
remember,
your
he
advice?
can't handle any spice. So
I can handle spice. Gideon almost killed me that day.
Well, obviously, I love every restaurant in India because I love Indian food. But if you don't like spice, it might be
No, okay, we like spice.
okay.
We
Okay.
like spice.
So I'll give you like a couple different
Look at the mild
restaurants
spice.
that I used to go since I was a kid. I would say when you're crossing roads, be very careful. There's no laws. Even after the traffic signal turns red, people will still go. The walkway sign when the walking dude on the that doesn't really mean anything. You just kind of have to
go.
see and figure things out.
crossy roads.
I was gonna say it's like ultimate crossy road.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You can cross the road wherever you want. You just got to be like savvy at it. So when I was younger,
Jaywalking's legit.
yes,
Okay.
very legit. Like
Let's go.
like when I was younger, I used to my mom should just take my hand and like drag me across the street, and it was literally the middle of the street. And I'm like, what are we doing? And like eventually I got good at it, but like that's something. If you can cross the road in the middle of the road, like you've been around India for a while.
Okay.
So that's like one thing I would say. What else?
Place to go.
Yeah,
Places
what's
to
cool?
go.
Is there a
In
cool,
Pune,
like-
there's not a lot of it's not a very touristy place.
Okay.
But there's just honestly like India as a whole, it's not even Pune. It's like literally if you go anywhere in India, just the atmosphere, the environment. I would try to go as many like traditional places as possible, like local markets or like just go shopping like somewhere, and you'll just experience India as a whole. Because like there's no like the best thing about India is like the fact that we have 1.4 billion or whatever people, and we can all like survive harmoniously enough. That's like the biggest thing. Like every day you're bumping into people, and like you're still like pretty like awesome with them. It's just a different vibe that's tough to describe in words. But I would say if you do go to India, that's the best thing you can experience. Like just go and be with the people. Like just don't need to do anything like crazy because it's not a very touristy place, I would say, but it's a very like culture place. Like you can just go and like be with people, like be around
super
people.
nice there?
Like for the most part, yes, but at the same time, it's like there's so many people. They're not going to be the people who make small talk like you make small talk here.
Because they got places to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of things to do. They've got so many people around them. They don't need to like say hi to every little person they meet.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that experience, once you kind of get over the shock of it, is like unique and cool in its own way. It's just tough to describe in words.
That's cool.
But I would say like if you guys go there, that would be the biggest like experience I would want you to get.
Maybe we get Center Street, trip to India
Trip
next
to
time.
India.
Yeah.
Fly with us to
Danny,
India.
hook us up, my guy.
Drew, have you seen the movie The Lion?
I have.
That movie is incredible. Have you
awesome.
seen it?
I'm not.
It's awesome.
It's
Well,
incredible.
let me look it up.
So you could probably explain it better than me, but it's just kind of, for me, it kind of reminded me of that when you're talking about just how
Lion?
crazy it is. It's just Lion, probably.
Just lying.
Lion.
How
Not
crazy it
Lion
is, how
King.
many people there are.
Uh-huh.
But this kid, pretty much, he's with his brother. They weren't supposed to leave, and his mom's gone, and they're kind of less fortunate, living in poverty. Yes, and
Zoom in.
And so this kid
Movie
with his
to watch.
brother, his brother leaves him while he's like tired, and he's a little kid, and I don't know how old he is, but he's really young.
Yeah.
And he like goes kind of find shelter in this train, and this train takes off in his sleep, and he's lost from his family forever. Like, and he doesn't know where he is. He can never get back to his family. He eventually gets adopted by this family in Australia, and 26 years later, he gets
Actually, might have seen
reunited.
this, yeah.
Reunited with his family, and it's a true story, and it's like insane, craziest thing ever. But it was a great movie. It was really well done too.
Yeah. that was a good
Mic
movie.
drop. 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. 91% on the popcorn meter. Okay.
There you go. Yeah,
It's
it's
a must
good.
see.
It's must see. It is good.
Wow. Look at you. Cultured.
Cultured.
I love that. GB, if anything, one word to describe him, culture. Well, Drew, we appreciate you hopping on, bro. If you have any advice to people, international, people that are trying to live their dreams kind of like you, what would be some advice you would, tell the people?
I would say this is something I love just for myself as well, but just be yourself. Like, there's no need to be like, hey, like this guy's doing this. Like, oh, I want to be hardworking like this guy. Like, literally just be yourself. Like, whoever you are, like lean like head first into who you are, and it's going to pay out. Like, I don't know how it's going to pay out, but it pays off. And not only like it'll be better for your like end goal, but I think you'll love the journey that you're going through, because you are like, as you're going through that journey, you're like literally being who you are. You're not trying to be someone who are not. Like, you're not trying to like fit into somebody else's shoes. Like, the journey is going to be way more better for you. It's going to be way more enjoyable. And for me, like, that's the best part. Like, enjoying that journey, like, is so cool. So don't try to like fit into somebody else's like mold of who they are. Like, just be who you are. And if you don't know who you are yet, just try to figure that out. Like, just experiment with new things. Like, hey, I like this. I think this could be like who I am. Like, try to figure that out and like just stick with it. Like, hey, this is who I am, and just dive headfirst into it. That would be my best advice for y'all.
Mic drop. Wow.
Great advice.
Appreciate you, Drew.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
for hopping
Thanks
on
for
the
having
pod.
me. It was awesome. Appreciate you guys.
Good luck with the season, bro.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.